Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back. And welcome to the last episode of the Daredevil Season 1 review, because it is the finale. We have made it. Many years of waiting, many rumors, many set photos, multiple creative teams, but we are here to talk about the last episode of Daredevil Born Again. I am the heart-fluttering Tress now, and I'm joined by...
I am the coffee drinker, Kirkland Patzer.
Hello, I am the nightgown man, Dylan Muss.
Nightgown, that's a good one, yeah. Just us three. Don't know what's going on, Taylor. There's videos.
He went to
around.
New York to get some, get the pulse of the city, see how things are doing.
I wouldn't
Caught in
trust
the blackout.
if Taylor was one of the people they recruited to need help for the fight in New York. I don't know if that would go well for them. I saw a video today of him getting beat up, so I don't know. I got no comment on that. My lawyers are looking into it, but what we do have going on is lots of stuff here at the GeekVerse, but we're going to talk about that after the fact. Let's do our overalls. Big episode, so we'll tell you more about what we got going on at GeekVerse a little bit later. Mr. Must, as I said, been a rocky road. I feel like there's never been an episode that all of us loved, like all four of us. I feel like there's been ebbs and flows throughout the whole season. So now this has ended. Luckily, we're, last time me and Dylan reviewed a Daredevil finale, we were like, oh, hopefully they get another season, and then it was canceled later on. At least we know, hey, this season 2, it's coming. It's coming next year. We already know we got a Punisher special, so at least there's that where it's like, okay, we know more is to come. So did this leave you excited for what's more to come?
Yeah, I mean, to answer that question, yes, definitely. We have a lot unanswered, a lot to do, a lot to get finished here. So in that way, definitely excited for the future. I finished the episode like 6 minutes ago, so I feel like I'm gonna need this convo to bounce off with you guys and see how I feel at the end. I guess I was a little. I didn't expect that this episode would tie up all the loose ends, right? Because we had so much to do. We know there's a second season. This is kind of like a season 1-2 thing that was kind of split. But even then, I still felt like a little unsatisfied with the ending that we got here. And I think maybe one of the reasons for that is I think this episode really illustrated to me that, like, oh yeah, this show did get kind of rewritten at some points,
100%.
reshot. And this episode in particular was really where that stood out to me of like, man, the season overall as a whole was really inconsistent or really choppy or just like, it didn't feel very unified. It felt like we almost got like 3 mini seasons in one, but then they were kind of edited and split in weird orders and all that. So there are some great moments in this, some really great dialogue. A couple of characters come back that I'm a big fan of. But overall, as an episode, I don't know. I guess it just it didn't fill my hunger that I want from this. So yeah, looking forward to that next season. I guess it is. Is it coming next year? I forget if they've already. Yeah.
Unless there's delays or everything, they've said it's next year. So
that's good. If I had to wait 2 or 3 years, I think I would probably lose a lot of the momentum on it. But next year's fine, especially with Punisher getting that special at some point too. So yeah, looking forward to what's coming next. But I don't know. I'm curious where you guys are at. Am I alone here and feeling a little unsatisfied, or what's the vibe?
I usually go last, but I'm gonna go because it's a good place for me. Because I'm completely in line with Dylan, but I think I liked the episode more than you. But I don't think there's without a shadow of doubt. Like, this feels very Frankenstein. Now, not we've seen much worse Frankenstein things in our day and age. Like, go back to 2017 when we had to review like the Zack Snyder, Joss Whedon combo Justice League. Like, there's much things out there. It's like, man, this is a mess. This is not a mess, but it's messy. To me, a mess is completely can't be salvaged. A messy is you won the game, but you got a couple injured players. Some players got suspended, but you still won, and you're going to the playoffs. And that's my thing of at least I'm excited for, which sucks because I don't like saying this feels like a setup season, but now in retrospect, I feel like if season 2 can be the quality of episode 8 and 9, then I feel like I will look back at this season and be like, it was a setup season slash Disney and Marvel and like a bunch of shit just trying to figure out like, oh, we're going to do 20 episodes. Actually, we're not. Oh, we're doing this. Oh, there's strikes. Oh, Frank's not coming back. Like, there's all this kind of mess. I think it's just going to represent kind of what happened with Secret Invasion, with I'm trying to think of like what's a really bad Marvel movie we got out of the last little bunch.
Eternals.
No, I don't even think Eternals really bad. I don't have that. I didn't even fail Eternals. I'm not even gonna say Captain America is really bad, but just the same way of that feels like, oh, there's a lot going on here that just doesn't jive, right? We talk about because it's reshot a bunch over. So obviously they always do reshots, but these are reshoots. But this era, we still got a couple more coming out with Ironheart and gosh, what Wonder Man. So I'm hoping those are a little more streamlined and we don't feel like a big shuff. But at least the shuffle to me feels good. So I liked this episode. I think 8 and 9 are pretty equal to me, but it's like firmly like leaps and bounds anywhere near the Netflix stuff. And I think there's great character moments here. I think there's a great setup here. I think just like last week, they delivered on the intensity of this episode. Sometimes I was like, oh my goodness, like what is going to happen next? Where are we going? Pro and con for the violence. I think you've seen some of those gnarly stuff in this episode more than anything in the MCU, but it also felt like a kid who learned to say fuck for the first time. There is a lot of like cuts and like these guys are just fucking bleeding waterfalls. It's like, and it's all CGI blood. So that's one thing that's still missing is, man, the fight scenes are not where they are, but like there are certain scenes where it's just like, okay, no one would they wouldn't just all bleed like this. Like you don't just, every time you poke a person, it's like, whoosh, it's like all, it's like, it's not Saw. So like I said, I think there's moments in here that I got the Rock chills, loved it, cannot wait. This actually feels like it's a part of Daredevil again, like the Netflix series, but it was a mess to get there, but we got the finish line. Really, I'm at least faithful that I think season 2, because it's now this team, I think we're going to get next year will be a great season, where this to me is like it's a fine season with great parts. That's what I would say. So Mr. Patzer, where are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty positive going forward with what we got here. I think this was like a just straight from the start to finish. Now that I can judge it as a whole, just a complete setup season. I think it was Taylor last week when he was giving his thoughts and he brought up that you feel like you could just kind of jump into like episode 8.
Yeah.
And I kind of fully agree with that now. I think looking back on all the episodes, I think there's like 4 that I like really like think fondly of, and everything else just kind of slips through the crack, unfortunately. I don't think they're like really bad episodes, but they just lack of interest in comparison to some of the things that we got here in episode 8 and 9. The other one that I would shout out is like the first Frank episode when he's all grizzled and like just great back and forth between.
Yeah, it's like
him
you could
and,
watch 1, 8, 9, and then just splice in Frank's scene with Matt, and that's all you need. Which is not a great thing to say about a show, right? And
I'm a big fan of that court episode 3, so I would defend that one. But
yeah.
it's not like critical to the overall story. So I guess you could win that argument there. But yeah, like it is unfortunate looking back that. Yeah, I really am just kind of interested in like these back few episodes, which is a real big positive going into next season. Because if I'm not mistaken, it's like this team kind of
it's this team going forward now.
So
they got the
so
keys.
that's really exciting. I think some things that were shown here though, it really just made me like look back on like, man, what could have been, for this first season, which was just some of the pieces that were in play in these last 2 episodes. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but overall, I still think what they do well, they do extremely well. Like, yeah, all of the performances were just fantastic. Oh, Titterfield in the chat. There you go. Yeah, no, I think it is a real positive episode. Like pretty much this one and last week's are probably like tie for me on just the quality and my enjoyment together. So it's nice to end on a positive, but as you brought up, Dylan, like I definitely felt a little bit just wanting more. Like once we get kind of near the end, I want to say like the last like 15 minutes, I like paused and it was like, no, like we're really not going to get any answers here. And I think part of me like subconsciously knew that was going to be the case because this isn't a season 1 and 2 thing, that there would have been a lot to really like wrap up in this last episode. So I am glad that they didn't try to do that because it would have just felt really forced, like a classic Disney Plus MCU show finale usually is.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I am really positive going forward, but yeah, now that it's all done, I feel a lot more just kind of certain with where I would be ranking this overall. I'll save that number till the end.
Plus, like, I don't think it's big spoilers to say. We've all kind of alluded to it. They leave a lot of things open. That's not a Daredevil thing. Daredevil's never really done that, right? You look at all 3 seasons of the show, it kind of wraps up. They leave some stuff that you could pick up on, but you really could end it there. Be like, most of the time, it's Matt and the friends win, right? Season 1, they take down Kingpin. Season 2, they take down the Hand. Sure, you lose Elektra, but it's like, well, that sucks for Matt. Moving on. Season 3, they take down Kingpin, moving on. And it's like, oh, the same thing. It's like, oh, Bullseye's still out there, but you wouldn't have to pick that up, right? You'd be like, oh, well, he just got Daredevil beat him up one time and went back into prison. Where this is the first time where it's like, no, there's multiple big moments, and I wouldn't say like the good guys are winning per se. It's not like a clean, like, okay, here we go. I think the quality won the game. Good guys certainly not. But anything else non-spoilers before we dive deeper? As I feel like we're edging.
Edge.
All right, well, we're about to edge over this ad break, so once we do that, we'll be into spoilers, so the gloves will be off. We'll be right back. And we're back. And if you didn't want that ad break, if you're not an edger, join patreon.com, because we don't at Patreon, we don't edge you. We give you the full Monty over there. Ad-free episodes, many exclusive episodes. You're usually getting at least 2 a month. You got After 9, April 26th, we're doing our movie night, aka day, 12 p.m. PST. We're going to be watching Top Secret in honor of Val Kilmer. We usually got 4 to 5 episodes, Mission Impossible retrospective, Fantastic Four retrospective, Superman retrospective, lots of good stuff on there. This week, me and Dylan will be dropping a Black Mirror episode that will be dropping the same time as this, so you can look over that. Dylan and Kirkland, you guys did some side quest action last night.
Sure did.
Yeah, we did.
Sure
No
did.
Edging was involved in that episode.
No. And
No.
then
Zero edge.
And then Weekly Geek, you guys got tomorrow, and then Sinners for me and Kirkland. So there's some good stuff happening. So if you want to support us the best way and create more content and get the best way to listen, head over to Patreon. And if not, we appreciate your support anywhere else, whether you follow us on social media, join our Discord, the audio feeds, the video feeds. We thank you. We love you. Oh, and I guess me and the boys on, thank you to the Patreon producers, Aaron Braden, April Darkness, Jack Grant, Sam, Superman Mike, God Loves Me 69, Jeremy Renner, and Charlie Randell. And you guys are going to be getting some more Mission Impossible retrospectives this weekend, so look out for that. Ooh. And then, me and the Gimmick Boys reviewing WrestleMania Night 1 and Night 2 this weekend, so look out for that. Where should we start? We are in the spoilers territory for Born Again finale. Where do we want to go?
Let me bring up our good friend Karen here. So this is one of those things I mentioned where it's like the fact that she's just in the first episode and this episode and then just kind of nowhere in the middle and just kind of shows up out of nowhere is one of those things that feels kind of weird, but at the same time I love the character so much and the actress I think is fantastic. So I'll take any Karen I can get. I think she gets some really good scenes in here, but it is like one of those things that felt very random at the same time. And I don't think I was really ready to predict that. I kind of just felt like she was off in the nethers and she was going to come back for season 2. So interesting to get her here. I would be set up the way we're set up here. Like I feel like she'll be a very crucial part of the second season of this. Do you guys?
I think so.
Do you guys agree with that?
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
I think also just because the show, I was talking about that with Mike in our Discord, it just now feels like we talked about last week. It actually feels like a direct continuation of season 3 versus before it was just Daredevil and Kingpin they're in New York, but it almost felt like they're in a different city. You could just say, oh, they've moved and here they are now. It feels I know Foggy's been a big theme, but it feels like there's a lot of Foggy talk this episode as well. So it just feels like it's actually the show. And if it is actually a show, Karen should be back for this. So I think she'll be a big side character because I don't even know if Matt's going to is Matt a lawyer now?
I don't think we'll see much lawyering occurring.
But can he even be Matt Murdock? Like, what is when all that went down, and then they find a bunch of dead cops in his house? Like what? How can he go back? Like, and even then, wouldn't
my
Fisk
thought was
be
like a big explosion, so it's just like the evidence is kind of gone there, but like there's still corpses.
What were all these cops doing in this building? You know, it's just curious what they're gonna do there. I just feel like same thing. We always talked about it last week, right? We said, okay, maybe Matt saving Fisk will be like, Fisk will have a come to Jesus moment being, I'll respect Matt. I'm not, I'm going to take you down, but I'm not going to reveal your identity, right? Because you saved my life, you owe me. The first time they broached the subject, him and Bucky's like, oh, it's a shame. We should take this opportunity to kill him. And it's like, oh, okay. So one, makes Matt just look like a fucking idiot. But that's where I'm just like, now I really don't, if next season doesn't start with, hey, everybody, Matt Murdock's Daredevil, how do you why would Fisk even be hiding that now? What does he have to gain by not giving it out there? It felt I guess that's not a negative. I'll have to wait till next year to see how they answer that for me.
I guess if he does that, then that the people of New York still look at Daredevil in a very positive light.
Yes.
So if he's doing this thing and he's trying to find Daredevil, hunt him down, and use the public to help track him down, I feel like that would not go over well with the public that would like turn them against him, or it would turn like a certain amount of people against him.
Yeah, but then you got the Fist supporters that would be like, if they see Matt Murdock, they're gonna call the task force, right, and be, oh, I just saw,
Or just shoot him.
or just shoot him. Yeah, if you see.
But
him
I feel like
with his
that's
cane.
kind of already the case with like cops on every corner, these corrupt cops. So I
Yeah.
feel like he's already kind of got those eyes and ears that he needs.
So then, do you think he would tell the task force that Matt Murdock is Daredevil? Because why shouldn't they know, right? Like this thing, like
Yeah.
if Matt is just doing his lawyer,
I mean, I guess
thing
they
when we
kind of
pick up-
already do if they went to his apartment and stuff, right? Like some
Yeah, they
segment
should.
of it already did. So in theory, like they all do, and they were
Yeah.
all like they're on the radio, like, hey, calling for backup and stuff.
But even then, they referred to them separately. They said Daredevil and Punisher are gone, and so is Matt Murdock and Karen Page. Or I think they said the blonde lady. So
I
they
missed
still
that part.
talk about them separately. So I just don't know if we get to a case where he's in a court case or doing something. I just don't find that believable this time around that Matt Murdock can do Matt Murdock things for the time while Fisk is top guy. You know?
Yeah, I think everything around the way that was tackled is kind of just like a full-on negative for me. Just the way that it played out, of like the way that it ended last week's episode with Matt jumping in front of that bullet. Like that is such a massive, big moment, and like the biggest thing that comes out of it is Kingpin's like, oh well, now he's vulnerable, so we can just kind of
Yeah.
like fucking take the pillow and just snuff him out in the hospital bed. Like it just seems so unplanned by like a writing standpoint. Like I thought it was gonna have a lot more of just significant, like maybe Kingpin is like, wow, he actually is like a true ally or something, and like this
I
affects
thought he was going to
the
pitch
conflict
Buck
going forward.
to bring him over, because when he's like, "Oh, we can use this," I'm like, "Oh, are they going to use like?" I don't think Matt would ever join, but are they going to kind of do some sort of truce and like have to work together? And that didn't
Yeah.
happen. But when he's like, "Oh, we could use this," I'm like, "Oh my god, what's?" Or if Fisk like had a weird Joker thing where he's like, "Oh, he saved me," like he wants to be with us, like. But no, we didn't go.
Can't
anywhere. And it
exist
didn't-
without each other. He
yeah,
starts proposing
and it
that to
didn't.
Matt.
It didn't affect Matt either. Like, sure, he held his shoulder a couple times, but he was
Well,
same
every
old
time
Daredevil.
they like asked him about it, he's like, "Yeah, I don't know why I did it. I guess it's just instinct." Like he just heard a gunshot go off and went for
that-
it. Like it was
but
just so like, really, like this is the best we can do here for the finale. Like for me, that was like one of the lowest points of this entire episode, honestly, and it definitely brings down like the season for me.
And I mean, even just from a physical standpoint, you're right about like he's like, "Oh, I don't really know." Like we didn't get many answers. Even Frank's like, "Why'd you save that asshole?" I was like, just doing the right
You
thing."
know.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know, which I think was a really good answer, actually.
Yeah, but then I meant physically, other than like holding his side, he was fine. Last week we talked about this. I was like, oh, maybe they'll jump like a couple weeks ahead just to be like, okay, he's not fully healed, but like he's somewhat healed. Same night he's in there. Him and Frank jump off a balcony. He holds Frank with the side he got shot.
Yeah.
In my mind, you'd hold Frank, and the second he'd grab, he'd like, oh, and let Frank go. But no, he was completely
Like it was a
fine.
fucking sniper rifle that he
Yes.
got hit by,
From
not some
bullseye.
rinky-dink pistol that like Frank took like 17 pistol shots in this
Oh,
episode.
yeah.
Like this was a sniper rifle, from bullseye. So that should have done more damage because
least
presumably
broke
he's
armor.
only in that hospital for mere hours before he's already
Yeah.
up and out of there.
12 hours. I don't even want to say 12 hours, but that's like the max I'd give it, because Kingpin still has fucking blood on his jacket and suit while he's
Yeah.
doing half of these scenes. And Matt's like, which awesome moment in the hospital, because fuck Heather. She's like, oh, Matt, you okay? And she's like, Karen?
Yeah.
And his lawyer friend's like, oh, it's just the drugs and everything like that. But let's talk about Heather quickly, because there's not much to say. Mike said this in the Discord. I'm happy it happened. She's with Fisk. I'm fine with her just being, yeah, she's a bad guy now. Or she might have like because she seemed a little uneasy even shaking his hand. I think eventually she'll have like a baby face turn, but I'm fine with it now,
She's
because
gonna get
even
a tattoo on her neck. Next
yeah,
season,
tramp stamp of the Punisher. It's gonna be right there. But like, it's just for me. Even this again in this episode, she's like, "Oh well, they did try to shoot at Fisk." It's like that doesn't mean he's a good guy. Like that means literally nothing. Like, okay, find that shooter and ask him why he's shooting at Fisk. Like, it's just I hate how they've written this character. So honestly, like, I'm fine if she's just with Fisk and at some point Frank guns her down. Like they've made me not care about Heather at all. So I'm glad that it's weird. I guess they don't even break up. I guess they're just just done. So
That's what was bugging me, is like, hey, this is gonna be the moment. Like, Matt, just tell her to fuck off. Like, I
Yeah.
think we should see other people. Just do it right here in this scene, and "Oh, I'll talk to you when your head's right." Then she like stomps out of there. Whatever she said is just, yeah, she's such an annoying character, and
Yeah.
I like. I feel like I just don't even like her scenes, so I almost feel like next season they should just go over the top with her even more. Like make her like a mustache twirly villain where
I
she's
agree.
like
Yeah.
making like mind control serum for Kingpin or something. I don't know what it is, but
She's a chemist now too.
She's the
Yeah,
next
exactly.
muse.
Yeah. Did you know I took
She's got the
chemistry in
math.
high school, Phils?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah. Anything to say on Heather there, Dylan?
Yeah, I feeling really weird about this character. Like this is like I knew she was a defender, but I thought that not a defender in the way that like Matt and the rest of the crew in the Netflix season were.
Never watched that show.
Yeah, you got to go
she's
back.
in
She was
there.
one of the main crew.
She makes the mind control potion.
But yeah, like the whole season when we've had this tension where she, well, obviously was doing the therapy with them, but he didn't know about that for most of it, and then he was trying to coax that information out of her. I think it was mostly just last episode when he was doing that, and so we were kind of getting this like tension and drama. I never really thought that was going to lead to her teaming up with Fisk, and so that was maybe like the biggest plot twist of this episode for me, which is why I think like most of this episode was kind of by the numbers, and we kind of, you know, Travis, you're like, oh, Commissioner's definitely dead. Yeah, he's dead. Like there was just a lot of things
Yeah.
that we kind of saw coming. Other than, you know, Karen, we didn't really see her coming back. But yeah, this Heather thing is a surprising one too. But it's like, I don't know. It'll be like from what we've seen, she doesn't really have any like evil side to her. She's not like a villain in any sense of the word, right? So I'm like, I feel like you can't really be part of Fisk's team for more than like 2 days before you see all the corruption and shitty things.
Mm-hmm.
It does.
Yeah.
So it's like, is she just like, are we gonna get that turn where she is just actually evil? Like, to me, that would be really out of character for her. Like, wouldn't really make any sense. Like, it seems like she is a good person, and like the concerns she has for like against the, you know, the vigilantes is maybe a little overblown, but it like there is some validity to it as well. So I don't know. It is a kind of surprising thing, and I'm really curious what route we're gonna go with this. But I just don't know what kind of like tension we can get, because I feel like once Matt sees that, oh, you're close to Fisk, like I feel like that's when he would want to tell her more meaningful information, but maybe she just won't even hear him out anymore.
Like I just feel like just lay a bunch of stuff on the line, but no, I kind of agree.
Like
with
just
you
to
said.
protect her, right? Like give her
Yeah.
all this info, like, so you got to get out of there. Like trust me.
Yeah.
Like, and don't just trust me now. Like here's actual tangible evidence.
Yeah, but you can't say I'm Daredevil because she'd probably be like, like she'd
Yeah.
just muse them.
I protected
you know? But-
myself.
Yeah.
yeah, no, I
Use
agree.
the serum on him.
Also, I didn't need him to drop an F-bomb, but I agree with Kirkland that I wish something happened in the hospital, and he's just like, hey, if you're with Fisk, I can't be with you. Like, and it's either me or him, and if she chooses him, then she can, maybe that's something she can talk about later on that she regrets it. If we pick up with season 2, and like I said, I don't want him to be doing lawyer things, as much as Kirkland's going to hate this, and Taylor will hate this too, he's listening to it, I do feel like they should kind of do like season 3, where Matt Murdock, like, he was never Matt Murdock, he was just Daredevil, like hanging on the church. They should kind of do that again where he's just Daredevil and Josie's, because I just feel like if he's being a lawyer and if like him and Heather are trying to make it work while she's working, like I do not need some relationship drama. Well, oh well, you know, Fisk is a bad guy and working with him's very dangerous. Like no, the second she's working with Fisk, that's it, I'm done. Like even for his safety or Karen's safety, like I can't be with you. Like so, I really hope they do just kind of, as much as that's kind of annoying, it feels like this did, like parts of the show did copy season 3. I'm kind of saying do it again and just have him mostly be Daredevil, because that's what happened. Everyone, they didn't even say Matt Murdock was dead in season 3, just that he had left town. And same thing, maybe you can do this where that house explosion, people think Matt Murdock's dead, but X, Y, and Z. So it's like maybe that's why Fisk doesn't even have to say Matt Murdock is Daredevil, because if he's missing, then, well, maybe Fisk does think he's dead. Maybe he's operating the shadows or whatever. There's no point to bring Matt Murdock down because he doesn't exist. So I'm kind of hoping they go that way, and he's just like living at Josie's for a little bit, you know?
I
So.
I didn't love how it was done in like the previous show, but I think it really fits where we're at right now, especially with just like Fisk having like his city state thing that he's forming.
Yeah.
Like it just seems like we're at the point where it's like, yeah, like don't focus on your day job here, Matt. Like we need you
Yeah.
in the mask. Like from this point going forward, and because it really feels like we're in the middle of a war. Like we have Fisk with like his full-on army. They've already mentioned like Matt's kind of assembling his army with his ragtag crew. They need
worst
to get
of-
some more members because it looks pretty one-sided right now.
People, if you look at that crew, are fucking begging to get Iron Fist back. It's like, to me, like you got the one cop, I can't remember his name, that left him already.
Cherry.
Cherry. You got the one bank cop who I'm not a fan fan of. You got two random cops who have never met over here that are just like in uniform, and then you got Josie, who I'm sure Josie is like just gonna be like, hey, you can use this as a base, but still, it's like this is the worst team ever. Like us, like take out Daredevil. Us four could go defend New York better than maybe some of these people. I was just like, what's Cherry gonna do? What's he really gonna do in this situation? Fisk is like, they've captured Frank Castle. At least if Frank Castle's in that room, you'd be like, hey, he counts as 10, you know? But he's not even there. So it's like, what are we gonna do? So I do think, I think a couple weeks ago, Taylor and Dylan did that newscast about the Defender rumors in next season. I do think that's where you get Jones. You'll get
Heather.
a lot of them. What? You get Heather. Well, I think Jones is a for sure. And then I think White Tiger, the niece becomes like that hero. So that's two right there. I'm hoping Cage and Iron Fist. And this is where I know you can't. It just fucking sucks. And I'm very curious what they're going to do with the movie. I don't know how you have a Spider-Man movie in New York and all this is going on and it's not even mentioned. And I hope it is, because it's just very odd that same thing as like No Way Home to this. Ends with Peter Parker is no longer there. I'm just going to be Spider-Man. I'm going to be crime fighter. The city is, other than maybe when the Shatari attacked, is in the worst state possible right now. Mayor Fisk. And what's Spider-Man doing? And that's why I hope in Spider-Man 4 he is like in a different multiverse or somewhere. Because if he's in New York, just like, oh, I'm looking after Vulture. It's like, yeah, but what about Fisk, dude? Like, he's literally squashing cops' heads like melons. Like, and guess what? Spider-Man could probably have this wrapped up in like a day or two. You know, he just like he's a superpower being. His spider sense, like he's gonna be able to beat the fuck out of Fisk. Like, he's a super powered Avenger. He could help, but he'll get Frank out of there like nothing. He's gonna come in, web him. Frank's gonna be like in the sky, like easy. But that's what sucks, is it feels. You know, I get why Thor's not there. I get why Cap's not there. But for Spider-Man, it's like, this is going to be a tough pill to swallow in Spider-Man 4 if he's just like, oh, Mr. Negative has some bad charity like funds and I'm looking after it. It's just, I don't know. It's a weird, it sucks.
What's the release date of these bad boys again, though? Like, is
We
Spider-Man
don't have
gonna
the
be
show
before?
of which? Of this?
What's coming first, season 2 or Spider-Man?
We don't know currently. So your point could be that maybe they wrapped this up before. But even then, like, where was he during all this? You know, what was Peter Parker doing right now?
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, the city's like
Couldn't tell
they're
you.
cutting the power. They're not letting.
He was
people
caught
cross
up
the
in rights
bridge.
issues. That's the true
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah,
Delivering
It's a shame.
pizza.
Yeah, I kind of two thoughts here. Like, I mean, yeah, it really does not make a whole lot of sense that he could be just hitting up the lawyer, the court system again to like solve this problem, just with like, you know, the context of everything that's gone on here. But at the same time, like, they did go to Foggy's locker and they were like getting all this information and then they were like doing a stakeout and stuff. So it makes me wonder what the process is going to be there. But I think like, who would he want to defend at this point? Obviously, when Hector got taken out, is because he was a vigilante and there's more there. But like, I would be worried if I was Matt to defend anyone right now, because like I just don't know what Fisk and his cronies would do to them, you know, and just do anything to like stop his career from happening. I mean, that is even if like Matt could get in a courtroom without just getting shot at this point. Like, it seems like he's just like enemy number one, and they at any moment they can just do another blackout and like try and kill him, right, in a way that's really easy to hide the crime and all that. So especially now that they could frame him as like, oh, he is actually Daredevil. Here's all this proof, and we gunned him down. We got rid of this evil vigilante. So I don't know. I feel like it'd be pretty hard pill to swallow if we're actually getting like any of those downtime episodes. I feel like there's so much to do that I don't even have room for like a filler episode, let alone like, you know, some semi-plot progression like lawyer stuff. Like, I feel like we're not really going to get that. Do you think he recruits She-Hulk as a member of the army?
I wish.
Calls up
but
his old booty
I don't
call?
I don't think she fits in this show, unfortunately. I think it's too serious. I'd love them to change up that drama curve and just show, hey, she could do that, because Tatiana's a great actor.
What if
She could do
She-Hulk
it, but
melons Kingpin's head, and that's the end of the season?
Oh, I'd love it. Yeah, and she's joking about it while she's doing it, like breaking the fourth wall. It's just, but no, I don't think so. I think you might see Scar before She-Hulk. You know, so.
Oh, God.
I will say too, I don't think this. I could be pulling this out of my ass, but I think next year is one episode shorter as well. I think it's 8 episodes. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty positive on that fact.
Well, we can take the bank episode of this season.
Yeah.
It was pretty much 8 episodes long. So.
Yeah, Kirkland, have you seen She-Hulk?
No, I would love it, but maybe like after this season, if we get a third season, when they dispatch with Kingpin and we can go back to life as it once was before the mayoral Kingpin took
Yeah,
over.
we'll see.
Like
yeah,
maybe
we'll
he calls
see.
her in to do the lawyering while he goes and does the
Yeah,
does the vigilante.
I would like that. I would like that because I'm really not like attached to like any people around like Matt on the lawyer side. Like we never know her name, Kristen, whatever his
Yeah.
like partner. I just liked his other compatriots in the previous show. I think that's why I was more attached to that lawyer side of the show, and it was probably just done better as well. But if we get Tatiana. Maybe they become partners. Then yeah, I'm down with that. We can skew it more on the lawyer side as opposed to the Daredevil vigilante side.
And just maybe don't have her She-Hulked out, for the budget, sake of the budget of the show. Like have her, she can She-Hulk out every once in a while, but most
Have
time
her looking
have
even
it
better.
Jennifer
Double the amount of
Walters.
money that was used. On her
Yeah,
initially.
no, we don't want to do that, So, but yeah. Speaking of Karen, we're gonna get back to him, but I just have to say, like, great to see Karen. She made the call to Frank. That's fantastic, man. I just absolutely love that we're getting acknowledgement of the whole Frank, Karen, Matt dynamic here. Of they lay that on thick when they get back to Punisher's base. You want some coffee, Karen? You want some cocoa? Like he's trying to, I don't know, do whatever Frank does to flirt. Like he can't flirt at all because he's mentally damaged. We're like, oh, you want some red? No, I'm good. But like we'll talk about scene maybe more later when we get to Punisher. But when it's Matt and Karen alone. And he's like, oh yeah, like you talked to Frank Law, and she's like, what's it to you and whatnot and everything. Like you a little jealous. She's like, oh, Matt's like, oh, I heard your heart fluttering, and I heard his heart fluttering a lot too. And then they also say, oh, like I heard what was my heart doing when I saw you, which I actually didn't need. Just as I've said before, I just want Karen and Punisher to be but I don't mind because they still have some sort of connection there. But that's the first time the show they've always had like a lot of subtext there with Karen and Frank, but this is the first time they've ever like said like, yeah, especially even on the Frank side, he's feeling something there. So I don't think that's by accident. I don't know. Again, you could never date the Punisher. That's not a working relationship you can have, even though Karen has a lot more flexibility on the killing rule because she's killed multiple times and she doesn't have the same problem with Frank doing it as Matt does. But no, all that dynamic was great. Sucks that Foggy's gone, but if you're gonna tell me like I get Frank, Matt, and Karen instead of Foggy, Karen, and Matt, like yeah, I definitely like that trio better. And no, yeah, it was great to see it. Again, I was happy they were bringing stuff in from the Netflix and Punisher show, just perfect and good stuff there.
Yeah, the line adrenaline, I'm sure that we got a couple times there was like beautiful. I really loved the implementation of that. I thought that both those scenes were really great, especially that scene in the storage room. Other than like it was just awkward how they're like having this conversation, but then like every once in a while you just like Karen like picks up a random box. Like I just felt like the set piece of it was like a little clunky, honestly. Like I wish they were just like in an apartment somewhere just having a convo, but instead we had like had to do some plot stuff on the side of it. But otherwise I guess it did lead to a cute little moment with the avocados at law thing. You get a little Foggy backstory, so a cute little moment, so probably worth it in the end. But overall really love that dynamic.
Yeah, no, I think it was so good. It made me sad that we didn't have her for this for the whole season because it just seemed like we had so much juice in this quick amount of time. I don't really have anything else to say. It was good.
Yeah, so be excited to see more of that next year. Can't wait to see where we go with that. And they also, because I don't want to forget it, in this same scene they established the big deal with Red Hook is that this little, I don't know, I won't say little property, but little like a property nonetheless. It's completely, I guess, just they had some term for it, and it's just
Freeport.
Yeah, it's just there's no laws, no regulations, nothing. Just randomly in New York, there's this property that you can get away with anything. So, it seems like it works enough for me. It seems very random. Like I just don't believe anything like that could happen.
It's like
nowadays.
Genosha or something, just like
but for Kingpin,
the Wild West of New York.
Welcome to my home. But so that makes sense what Foggy was doing. We didn't get any hints of Foggy being alive, anything like that. So I'm wondering what the Foggy deniers are feeling. I did feel like I I voted on our Discord poll that I feel like if he's alive, it's gonna be next year. But I've said this before. I'm still on the bandwagon of I'd like him to stay dead because I just feel like if you bring him back, you lose a lot of the motivations for Matt and everything. I feel like Matt would be kind of a little pissed too. Like he'd be happy, but at the same time, it's like, man, I really torpedoed a year of my life for you to like pretend you were dead. So I'm still happy that hasn't happened. I liked all those moments, and we'll see. But yeah, Red Hook. I guess that'll be another thing they have to bring down next year is try to, bring down this pier that has just unlimited crime going on that can't be stopped, which is good for Frank though, because he can kill anybody. It's not illegal there either, right? So
It's like international waters, I guess, right?
Yes.
There's no, there's just no law.
It's
No
more like the
law.
moon. I feel like it's just like not even on Earth.
Yeah.
Or I guess the moon is owned by the U.S. or something.
The mirror
stupid, but-
mirror realm.
Q Moon Knight, Moon Knight next season, my home. So, what do we want to talk about next?
I guess maybe just a quick hit here. Well, two things at once. The last episode I talked about how I really liked the brief but a good scene between the commissioner and BB. And then yeah, Travis, you're like, oh, commissioner's definitely dead next episode, which is unfortunately the case. Very brutal scene. Like, cause that's something I was thinking about. I was like, man, I'm not finding Kingpin a whole lot. Like, he's not super intimidating. Also, at like one point when he was like in his office having that conversation, to me he was just starting to sound like Lieutenant Aldo Rain from Inglourious Bastards, and I just couldn't take him seriously. And I was like, I need Kingpin to like scare me a little bit here. And then that scene came up like a few minutes later, where yeah, I mean, of course you get a little CGI in there, of course, but you just like have him crushing this guy's head. So that was pretty good. The commissioner, yeah, I don't know why he went in that building. Don't know why he didn't jettison out of that car when that guy picked him up and it was not who he thought was going to pick him up. So I don't know. I guess he had a lot of trust or faith there, but I don't know where he got that trust or faith from. I found it odd that BB was not in this episode. Like she technically had we saw her for like a frame at the end.
Dramatically looking into the camera.
Yeah, and we got a couple like BB shots, but that's another character that I feel like. I guess it's just one of the setup season thing, as you guys were mentioning. Like season 2, we're gonna get more of her role, but it just felt odd that like in the finale there isn't really any content for her. So I don't know, maybe just the result of the rewrites and things like that. And this episode's already an hour long. What else are you gonna do with BB? Not too sure, but curious to see what she does, especially given now that Commissioner, who they were gonna be buddies, now he's gone, so she doesn't have as many ins.
Guess we'll find out if maybe next season if she got those files from him or not. Even though it's like, what does it even matter though, right? Like, what's he gonna do at this point? Like, Fiska's like literally just shutting the power off of the city, and it works because like I don't.
That would be like a weird flashback though if we got that reveal in season 2. We get like a flashback of them like doing a handoff, like where he was wearing a Feige hat or something in a back
She
alley.
might just have like a email from him, for your eyes only, and then because if it's like, hey, next season they bring Fist down, it's like here's the 20 ways we can do it, and just pile on to him and stuff. So I hope she's around a lot. Again, I found the scene like a little cheesy when they're talking to all the city council people, and it's like, oh, what about those North Shore bank accounts? Like, and what about you? Like, I guess every single, and maybe this is the way as politicians, but politics, but it's like you're telling me every single person here in New York, like there's not one guy that's like, I got elected kindly. Like they got dirt on everybody. It's like, all right.
My headcanon for that was like, yeah, like that. Okay, that person that he was specifically talking to at that moment had some offshore like illegal thing, but like everyone else probably just gets the same threat that the commissioner got of like, I know your family lives in Philadelphia. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay, I
They
guess
like
I
that
better
sandwich shop,
fall in
don't they?
line. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I went in that building either. Just like, I think it's better odds just to jump out of the car and run.
Yeah,
Pull
walks
your
into a
gun and
fucking
run.
Dexter kill room with plastic everywhere. Like, what are you doing, buddy?
Thought his skull could take it. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like I get it. He's like in a more managerial type role, but I'm like, why doesn't he have a gun on him? Like, especially just the threat of like Kingpin out there. He's already like fleeing the town. Like, yeah, it was ill prepared. That guy. Yeah. He could have been more prepared, but
How you feel about Kingpin right now, Corinne? Because I feel like you've always been like, oh man, like I want this brutal crime boss. I
Yeah.
feel like maybe in this end, like the episode you saw flashes, I feel like next year you're gonna get at least as close as you could, because he just went to Vanessa like, yeah, I wanted to be the mayor, but fuck it, let's do crime again. And now he's like literally just like busting people's skulls. So I feel like he's full Monty next year. Like there's no cover. And even the end of this series, he's what is it? You got this, what was it called? Safe Street program, where it's like 8 p.m.
Safe
curfew.
Streets initiative.
Vigilantes are just going to be killed on site and stuff like that. So he's doing a lot of bad
8
stuff.
p.m. You better not be on the streets, or you will be
Hey,
shot
Luan,
at.
you a vigilante?
Yeah. I got up at 9. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. I am really digging it for just like the full on like straight up villain of what he's become. And I think one thing that I will defend like throughout the whole season is like kind of that progression of that individual character. And well, I guess him and Vanessa, like throughout the whole thing, they've kind of been evolving a little bit to the point that here we are now, and he just feels like he's like, he says, I love the city, you know, I'm trying to make it a safer city, but like every action that he's doing, like there's no like shaking hands and kissing babies on screen anymore. Like I just feel like he's just straight up like a villain
He's
now.
gonna crush those babies if he's, you know.
Yeah, so I like it, and I think that it was actually paced decently well. Because if you compare like episode 1 to where we are here for just Fisk, like he is a completely different position. Like I feel like he was really against Vanessa trying to like stay true to that criminal side. Maybe from the beginning he was trying to plant these seeds of this Freeport thing that he was doing. Like maybe that was his plan all along. It was kind of, you know, shown to us with breadcrumbs throughout the season, so it's tough to say. But where we are now, I like it. I like when like multiple times in this episode we see him with just like that smile that he has when he's just like just crushed a man's skull, and he's like, oh yes, and he takes out his handkerchief, wipes the blood off his face. Like I like this Fisk a lot, so yeah, I'm really really down for it. And in terms of Vanessa as well, I'll just pair in since I brought her up. I think this episode like didn't do a lot for me. Like for her, I think her better episode would have been probably last week. Just with her and Matt. I really like that scene when they were dancing. But yeah, no, I'm okay with her being on team with Team Fisk, even though earlier on in the season I really thought that I didn't think they were going to be able to smooth it out. I thought one of them was going to be kicking the bucket, and I didn't think it was going to be Kingpin. But yeah.
Yeah, the one thing that seems slightly off to me, and I wonder about, is they were those two having a conversation. I think this was like right after, I guess, essentially the events of last week, and he was talking about how like, oh yeah, like when I was away, you were, you know, dealing in millions, but now that I'm mayor, I can deal in billions or something like that. But I forget the exact line. But the moral of it is, I feel like he was kind of downplaying her, like maybe talking down to her, and I didn't really feel like we got a perception of her feeling that way. But I wonder if that is something that leads to, I don't know, a disconnection between them, where she feels like she's not being respected and she wants to feel like she's the mayor too, even though technically he's the one that's like been elected and all that. But yeah, I didn't really feel like this episode was really hinting at that. It was more like one tiny little breadcrumb, but curious to see what kind of journey she goes on in season 2, because I feel like it must be something, or else, like, I don't know, I kind of feel like we got her arc to lead up to this point, and like maybe she's just a lackey, or maybe she just gets killed by Frank early on, and that's like leads to some other issue, and she's like more of a plot device character. But I kind of feel like they've built her up to be a pretty major character who has her own train of thought and like is doing stuff, and we didn't see any of that because it was all like, you know, when the show wasn't around kind of thing. But I don't know, I feel like I'm curious to see what route she goes on in the next season.
Yeah, I guess they might just have her do more issues that, like, hey, if Fisk were to get caught here, it'd look really bad, so send Vanessa because she's not the mayor. Even though she's the mayor's wife, it's like, well, you go deal with, like, the Lucas of the world or whatever, where he can just stay behind his office. Because before, he might make those calls or send Buck or whatever, but now he knows that he has, like, his other half. So, yeah, we'll see. It definitely, to me, because I at one point thought they were not going to make her, Fisk was going to kill her. It felt like in the middle of the season they were definitely going a different route, and we got here, which is fine because I like that relationship. But yeah, we'll be curious. Okay, what do you do now? There's, as of right now, no conflict, right? They resolved it. They're both criminals. They're both going to build this organization. So are they just happy together? I don't know. I guess you could always, like, I don't want them to, but you can always throw a kid in the mix because they do have kids together, and that's not been touched upon the show, right? So, and that to me is just always a classic TV show thing of what, oh, we got nothing for this female character. Well, let's get her pregnant, you know, and they could do that because, like I said, it's canon. So, yeah, we'll see. Let's take an ad break, and then we'll be right back. And we are back. So, I want to finally talk about my boy Frank Castle. We've talked around him. I had to switch seats because in my house I got this stupid fucking window that you can't put blinds on it. So when Frank entrance, I couldn't. It's just a music cue, and I couldn't see Frank. So I literally had to take a chair and sit to the left of the TV. It's awful because it's summer now and it's these episodes drop. Whatever, just whatever complaint. But yeah, Frank is there. He's back. We knew he was coming or had a good hunch he was coming back. Just hang
In the
out.
thumbnail again, like fuck off with these thumbnails, just spoiling
I
him.
know.
Like, let me be surprised, please.
I knew it was gonna come, but still, when I go to it and
I
like
didn't know for sure until I
Okay.
went on Disney Plus and I
Okay.
saw it. But
I was so pissed though because I hovered over it and it showed like last week's episode halfway progression, as if I'm like watching the thumbnail for last week's episode, but it just says Frank and Daredevil standing right there. I'm like, I'm not even on the fucking episode, and you're showing me this. God damn it!
Yeah, and I see. I wasn't always because there were some things you guys said. I thought, oh, there might be some ways you don't know because if we definitely, I think at least talked about this in the Discord because they're like. There's been set photos galore of these scenes of like Punisher and Matt together, so we always knew like, okay, he's coming.
I was
back.
like
Unless they cut
90%
it,
sure, but it's
Yeah.
still like it would have been hype if I didn't see him coming. You know?
And I will say this is where it's like love that he's back, but it does just feel like the tad just rushed or messy, just like, hey Frank, yeah, I'm back. Someone called. Let's kill some bad guys. It's just like to go from that one conversation to nothing. It's similar to the Karen thing, right? To nothing else into the season to like, okay, I'm back now. I even thought we might get a solo scene of Frank like he's at his place struggling because Karen says that comment like, oh, you know, you want us to believe you don't care, but I think you do. So even if you saw him like seeing the TV or heard that Matt Merrick shot, he's like rocking his chair thinking about it. But no, he just showed up, and they know they make the joke like, oh, you're all shaven, but it is like, yeah, why is he all shaven? Like, why is he all clean cut? He's doing like it just feels definitely like okay, we had only had John Bernthal for a certain amount of time. Here we go, but it's great. We get this great dynamic, which we've never really gotten before. The two dynamics we've gotten was season 2, where it's Daredevil hunting Frank, or it is Frank is trying to kill someone and Daredevil is trying to stop him. They have to work together. Matt has no choice because unfortunately if he doesn't work with Frank, he's likely going to be gunned down here. But at the same time, while Daredevil's trying to do his heroic, like do takedowns on guys, you just in the background just hear and see Frank, and he's just like killing people. He's
Damn it,
shooting them.
stop, Frank.
Yeah, and he's just killing them. Especially at one time, there's the one cop where they found the bullet, so we found out which cop did do the killing on White Tiger.
Yeah, the guy that
And
we've seen a lot, but like still has zero personality compared to
Yeah.
everyone else.
he's just like bad cop number 2.
Yeah.
But like even then, he like Frank goes to shoot him, and Punisher goes to shoot him. Daredevil stops his gun like, oh, you can't do that. Oh, do what, this? And then he just headshots another cop. So it did put Matt in a very, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing for the show, just like an interesting scenario again, even for next season. It's like, and that's why I'm curious what they're going to do with him and the kill rule. Because the way he was talking to Karen, he sounded like he was like, oh, my whole life I've kind of denied the darkness, but it's definitely there. So it's like, are you just going to be killing people or really hurting people? Because they have put them in kind of a Empire Strikes Back situation where like, I don't know, you might have to kill your way out of this. Like, again, the easiest resolution is just for Frank to put a bullet in Kingpin. Like, honestly, like, none of this take down the law stuff, everything. It's like, it's just get them in the same room together. But Berthnall delivered. Like I said, my only con here was there's way too much CGI blood in here. Every person, like, was like a water balloon. It just lost its impact. I'd rather it be like, if there's going to be 4 kills in the scene, 3 out of the 4 are just like a gunshot at a stab and they fall down. And then there's one where it's like, oh, gnarly. But every time when he's just like, it just looks like video game effects, not as good. And then also just like in general, just the fight scenes were just not as good. Like when Frank went to go take down the cops by himself at Red Hook, it was just a lot of like close-ups on him, like elbowing guys and shooting. Like, you couldn't see much. It just was like, okay, I get it. You guys shot this probably quickly because it was not planned. So I hope with the Punisher special and next year, just the action is a little bit better, but maybe it's never going to reach that Netflix level, and I just have to be used to that, So
Yeah. Overall, I did like the scene. I don't, maybe I thought the scene was like dark. I didn't like notice the blood as much. Maybe it was the glare on your TV was just like making the blood glow,
Blood
like
glare.
Stanley's green drink from whatever movie that happens in.
what a kink.
But yeah, I really like that scene.
He doesn't say that.
I did think it was a little odd, just like the pacing of it, that like almost all of Frank's shots were in slow mo, but then almost all of Matt's shots were in like regular mo, I guess. So it was just like it just was jarring to go back and forth. Not super jarring, it's still like a really fun scene. I think mostly just the tension of like, yeah, Frank just killing these people, Matt not wanting to kill him, but it's still like doing some pretty brutal stuff to them, and then just kind of that tension between it. So I don't know. I really like that scene, but I agree with you. The takedown of him, like, you take down a guy like Punisher very rarely. I feel like you should make that scene like pop a little bit more. Once again, it was just like a dark little like ramp in the side of this like facility.
Let's put our shields on them. You know?
Yeah, like it could have been a little bit better, or at least like I think it would have been more fun if he took down a lot more people before that happened, like took down like 20 guys or something like that. But it was a little bit smaller scale, so could have been a little bit better. I think that was maybe just the pacing of like having the big action set piece like earlier on in the episode, and then kind of a more mediocre stuff at the end. Maybe that was why I was a little unsatisfied by like when credits were rolling, I guess.
He did get to kill a lot of those fucking cops, though. You know, that was great. I've been
He
asked
did.
for that for
He got,
weeks.
he
and
got a lot of
stuff.
KOs.
And I can't. He still didn't get that main one, so I can't wait for whether it's in the special or season 2 when he gets his hands on the guy who's like, Frank, we all really love you around here. You're kind of like an idol. That's one thing before Kirkland goes that I loved that scene. I wish I wanted a little bit more. Also, they couldn't do this because in the comic books he's like, you don't look after me, you look after that guy. And it's like a poster of Captain America. It's like, that's a fucking hero. I'm not a hero. I like they did do the speech of like, you don't know my pain, everything like that. But I just wish that scene would have been a bit longer to really get into like, why are you guys following me? But like, it's just like Burfall being like, you clowns, you fucking clowns. Like he's doing his mumble thing,
It
which
looks
is
too
great.
one-sided. I think, yeah, we need like a spicier character on the other end, in my opinion.
Yeah, like so I think it was a good scene. I just think there was meat left on the bone. I don't know if that's because like I said, reshot stuff, whatever, or because we're getting that special. If they're just like, well, let's really dive into this dynamic when we got 45 to 50 minutes just alone with Frank. So for me, it's a wait and see. It was a good scene. Could have been, I was hoping it was going to be a great scene like the Matt and Daredevil, like talking about ideologies. Because you could say the same thing to Frank. You could have a good cop character that is bad, just say like, doesn't matter, you're still killing all these people. Then it should be up to Frank to be like, explain, yeah, but you're not me. You're here to protect and serve. You're here to uphold the law. You're not supposed to be what I'm doing. I'm an example of the law failing and the system failing. Not all of you should be. But I thought it was a great shot of Frank waking up and they have the camera behind him and it's just dozens of cops with the Punisher logo of just like, and he just shaking head. I thought that was like a really nicely done shot. So
Yeah, I really love that scene. I agree with everything you guys said. I pretty much just across the board wanted more of that stuff. I did like how like the quick little lines that Frank would be saying to the bad cop, like it'd be a quick little thing like, yeah, you're fucking clowns or whatever you would say, and then it would cut back to the other sequence. I think that was when the commissioner was getting fucking lemon
it
stains.
was, yeah.
Yeah. So it'd go like from back and forth there. So it kind of just like drew out the tension. But I think like the Frank stuff, it doesn't like it's worthy of just standing on its own. Like it doesn't have to be paired with another scene. So I would have just appreciated more of that. I could have just taken Commissioner being killed off screen because I don't have a lot of attachment for
Whoa.
that character. I assumed he was going to be killed there.
You didn't want the head pop though? Did
Yeah, you
get
didn't like the
satisfied
melon?
from the gusher?
I didn't really. I guess I like the Kingpin action, but just like the technicality of it, it looked just really CGI for me. And like when he actually like squished his head, I was expecting to just like pop like a water balloon, but he like rips the jaw and then it like looks like he like peels his face back. But then I clued in, and then it was just because like, yeah, his jaw broke and then blood just went kind of everywhere, and it's just the way that he like rubs his hand on his head. It just made it look really really strange, as if he just peeled an orange or something. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I was getting the Travis CGI blood. I had the same brightness as
Some
you
glare
did
on your
maybe in that
screen.
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was just me standing there naked watching the episode.
Well, and what something Dylan said, which I think we all agree, Mike said, I was begging for someone to turn the lights on in those action scenes, which, I think that's just like, unfortunately, like a Hollywood thing the past 15 years, like just even night scenes in general, right? We always talk about like, sometimes like, what's going on? I can't remember what movie we were watching, me and Emily, but it's like all the nighttime stuff was blue. I'm just like, I wish just go back to that. I know it looks fake and whatever, but just make
The Mamma
nighttime blue
Mia
again.
Night Sky, where they filmed it all in the day. And then
Yeah,
just
maybe not
turned
that
it
much because
nighttime.
that is bad thing. But like even when we film our stuff, like we try our best to be like, hey, we're gonna have a light outside, even if it's like you can tell, hey, it's a light. It's like I can't remember who said it to Peter Jackson, but God, what's his Sean Astin? I think it was Sean Astin. He asked somebody about the music, and he's like, well, in this movie, it's very fantasy, blah blah. And he's like, well, where are those lights coming from? And the director, I think it's director Jackson or someone goes like, it's the same place where the music's coming from. It's like, it's a fucking movie. It's a show. Like no one's going to care. Like if you're like, oh, it's nighttime, but why can we see Mad and Punisher so clearly? I don't care. I'd rather just see them clearly. Like throw a fucking light there and just be like, oh, there's a headlight, or who cares? It's as long as you can see outside a window, it's nighttime. Great. It's nighttime. I digress.
Got the guys with the boom mics, breaking the fourth wall.
Yeah,
You're
maybe not
supposed to
that
see them.
far, of course. But.
Close out my thoughts on the Punisher stuff here. I think I was a little bit disappointed with how it ended. Because you do like it's a big buildup of the whole season of like Frank actually conversing with like these cops that are taking the whole symbol of the Punisher in a completely wrong sense, especially with what their job is supposed to be. Just the way that it ends with him just getting like beat on. I think I was just in my mind expecting him to get an escape, which doesn't
He did.
happen. I guess it does happen later on. So it's like, why even have him go on the boat or wherever the hell he is? Like, you don't even have Kingpin interact with him or anything like that. Like, it just seemed like such a waste of, we're going to corral him, get into the scene, mid-credit scene. He's going to be schmoozing this cop that's just in love with him. He's going to rip his arm off.
You're
And
from
then
Jersey.
that's how he gets out. So it just seemed like a lot of... It seemed like we took the long route when there was an obvious shortcut to get to the same situation, and I felt a little bit, I don't know. I was gonna say disappointed.
You can say
yeah,
disappointed.
I guess
I
I'm
was disappointed in the med crit see, because like I agree with you because I was fine with him being locked up. Okay, again, I would. It's comic book stuff, right? Why would you not just assassinate Frank Castle? You know how dangerous he is. The second you have him, gunshot in the head, it's over. See you later, Punisher. But I can get Fisk is who he is. He wants to dangle the carrot and whatnot. They have a history, right? And even
Wants to
then,
make a publicity stunt out of it.
yeah,
likely.
exactly. The execution of Frank Castle live on Thursday.
Guillotine.
Yeah, at 7:50
Grand
on the
Central
dot.
Station.
7:50.
We'll
on
turn the
dot.
lights on for this one. Yeah.
Yeah. Or off according to the fight scenes. We don't know yet, but so like I get that, and I was a little disappointed. Kingpin walked right past him because I've talked about this on the show many times that
Yeah.
Frank said the next. Obviously he's chained up, but he said the next time I see you, I'm gonna kill you. And I do hope we're going that way or something that way. But I was fine with okay. Frank's locked up because I thought that was going to be the special of okay, the special is Frank's got to get out of here, and we're going to see him just tear through this Red Hook and like that. To me, if you were to pitch me, hey, it's a Frank Castle has to escape a prison movie, that sounds cool. I'm all down for that. But then when he escapes in the mid credits, like Kirk said, why do we do this? And two, for me, it was just dumb. I cannot
Super
believe
dumb.
especially when he's like, oh yeah, you know who I am. Oh yeah, I know you are. I'd rather at least the cop be like, no, man, I don't know who the fuck you are. I'm just watching you, right? Because that would be dumb. But at least you'd maybe not think, oh, it's the Punisher. If you know this guy's the Punisher, you're going to shake his hand. That's some of the laziest writing ever. And then he breaks
Super
like,
lazy.
do something. And like, there's like, and this is why I literally think, I wonder if this scene was like, they announced that special and they're like, we should put something. I wonder if they did the show and they went forward with the special, and my idea was that they were gonna have Frank locked up, but the special they want to do, they're like, actually, we don't want to do Frank locked up. That sounds boring. Like, we want to do something else. But in season 2, we had him locked up. Well, what if we like quickly like get John back and film him break out? Like, it felt like they completely turned back around, and said, actually, we don't want to do that storyline. We want to get him out of there, which is just like, there was lots of guards there. How can he get out this time, but not get like, but he got captured last time? It's messy. It has nothing to do with Berthol. Berthol's always just 100% there. I think he's acting good of like, oh yeah, I'm from Jersey too, and like he reminds me of such a young De Niro. It's so funny, but it's very lazy, and it doesn't make any sense why he's there unless the special literally picks up with him getting out of the cage, and it's still that of him versus all these cops again. So I'll wait and see, but very, very weak. Like, there's great. These people are great showrunners, writers. You couldn't think of anything else to get him out of this cage. Like, and he's even chained up too. He's not like the other people are just sitting there. He's chained up like Hannibal Lecter. I don't even know why he doesn't have a mask around his mouth, but I digress.
Yeah, what is the point of that chain if he can still walk around the room and like
He can
do
literally
stuff?
extend his hand outside the hole.
Yeah, that's crazy.
No sense.
Yeah. Really, really weird. I think what you were saying there of like that feels like a scene that they had him come back to do, and like I have to go back and watch the shot again when like Kingpin's walking through there, but like there's just no chance that those two actors were on set the same day. In my opinion, like I don't know, maybe they just didn't write a line for it.
100%.
But like the fact that they wouldn't have like a glance at each other or like that would have been a great opportunity in hindsight to just have like a minute or two of Kingpin just like digging into him hard of like, hey, I won this thing.
Yeah.
And maybe I don't know, like I'm sure Frank would yap back at him, but maybe I don't know what that whole scene would look like. But even if somehow they like locked up his mouth or something so he couldn't talk and it was just Kingpin like berating him, I think that would have been really great. But like that definitely seems like a in the 11th hour kind of thing, like coming in to make a change to get that scene happening.
Even that moment would have been great for Frank to just be like, hey, why don't you just kill me? And, Kingpin have this nice, good soliloquy of just like, oh, I want to keep you alive so you can watch all this. Like that doesn't give me killing you is not satisfying. It's you having to just sit here in the cage and rot away. Like, and the thing is like, even then, like, couldn't you have shot that? Like, Dylan, you've never seen it, but they, in the Zack Snyder's Justice League, at the end of the movie, they give Jared Leto's Joker and Ben Affleck's Batman a scene together for the first time. They were not in the same room when they shot this, but they like use doubles and it's like a 5-minute conversation and it looks like they're beside each other talking. And it's like, even that, if you can't get them together. So I wonder if Kingpin at one point walked by a cage that did not have Frank Castle or something, because it just feels like there was such a sticking point in season 2. Like there was a big moment was they helped each other out of prison in a way and they both made threats at each other. So I was really hoping for one mini 15 to 20 second conversation of just like, yeah, I won and you're going to sit here and watch me win every single day, but no, nothing. It's just like, he's another guy. We didn't mention they also got Swordsman. So he's locked up there. I guess he didn't make that donation. So
I thought that was Val next to him for a second too.
Thunderbolts Val?
I'm like, oh my god, they're really setting up Thunderbolts here. I wonder what's going on.
Oh, get Frank on that team, man. Fuck, I'd love to see him. Like, I put Red Guardian and him in a room together and just see what happens. Just see what happens for a little bit, So, I'm not saying he's gonna kill him. Just, I think Frank will fuck him up a little.
You can replace Taskmaster.
Yeah, 100%. Maybe it's him under that mask. That's how they snuck him out of there. He found a Taskmaster costume in the or in the Fist compound. But is there anything else with Punisher we're not talking about?
When they're all in his little prepper shelter thing that he has with Karen and Matt, and like before he offers them coffee, he does like his own stitches, and then Karen's like, "Oh yeah, how you doing?" It's like, "Never been better." He walks over. And in like a true Punisher fashion, like I never thought about like how the Punisher takes medicine, but like of course he just fucking chews the pills and like the audio,
like a dog.
Yeah, the audio design around it is like he's chewing like crunchy hard candies, like he's just breaking a jaw, just crunching down.
He took the whole bottle.
It sounded so loud when he was just crunching on
jaw breaking, just like the commissioners.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he just chews jawbreakers also, like apples. Like if he maybe it's his favorite type of candy. He's that hard, man. He's the Punisher. So
he's probably
I just really
ripping
appreciated that detail.
He's biting through people's bones with those teeth. These pills are nothing for him. It's Frank Castle. Yeah. Let me look at my notes here, make sure I didn't forget anything on Frank. Oh, that's one scene I did like when we talked about a little bit, but Frank was trying to get Matt to kill that cop. And I really liked that moment. He had the baton, and Matt was like, "Do it, Red. Come on, do it. Just fucking get over it. Do it." And like, I liked it. Again, Matt didn't fully go that way, but I love that stuff. And then after he didn't do it, they got in like a pushing match until like, grenade, what? And then like he like runs him out. Which again, good timing on the jump, because what happens if Frank just jumps and like Matt does not catch him, and poor Karen just
that
sees
was
Frank,
a lot of faith he put into Matt, as if they had choreographed that move.
Yeah, they're not like the Defenders. They've like fought together a few times in like 8 years. Like they've not.
And the way he threw his arms out, Punisher, like he was like, I'm just gonna like flying squirrel this. I'm gonna like resist as much as I can. I'm just gonna smash into the pavement like fucking Bullseye, and I'm gonna survive it just like Bullseye did too.
Or I guess that's always the thing too with him going to the cops. Frank Castle is kind of always looking to like, he's kind of suicidal in a sense, right? Like he's always just looking for someone to put him out of his misery. So maybe Daredevil didn't do him a favor there. He's like, this is a good way to go out. I'm gonna jump out, grenade, and then no Matt caught him.
saving everyone, Red.
don't save me. I can catch myself. But,
and like he's never seen Matt use that gadget before, right? So like, he's probably pretty sure that he was gonna die in that sequence.
But I guess they always say what I guess I'll try to help them out as they say. I think there's like 5 years between season 3 and now, so clearly I guess maybe they've bumped into each other a couple times. Which again, I always say, then why didn't Matt like turn him in? Like it's a weird dynamic where Matt's like, don't kill these people, but like he doesn't like arrest them. He doesn't tell the cops, so it's like a very tough gray area. But you know, he, and
Mostly not killing innocents, right? These guys are
that's
bad.
true, but
to an
Daredevil doesn't want
extent.
to kill anybody, right? That's the thing,
Yeah.
except for Bullseye, which we'll talk about in a sec.
He wants to
Faith
save
is waning.
Kingpin.
Yeah, he wants to
The
save.
worse someone is, the more he wants them alive, I think.
Yeah.
When Hector, he's like, fine, that's fine. He can pass away.
Yeah, he's all good. Yeah, there's another good Punisher shot. I like when Karen was like cleaning up Matt's wounds. They framed it that Frank's like head was in the background, and he kept like looking over at him. I enjoyed that, just Frank being kind of weird and stuff. But
I appreciate
Hey,
it.
Karen, I got some wounds too.
want some coffee too? No, okay, I'm just fun. But yeah, whatever it is, I can't wait. No, I guess I shouldn't say whatever because, like we said, we had some problems with that scene. I hope that the Punisher special is gives us some good stuff. And again, I'll always be excited for Berthnall. I think Berthnall, you could put him in Secret Invasion and he would still be the best thing in that show. You know, he just always delivers, didn't miss a beat. It was great to see Punisher just tear through some people. And I'm excited for him to get his hands on that cop eventually because that cop has to go down by Frank 100% in my opinion.
Oh,
so.
he's just got like the worst like shit-eating grin like all the
Yes.
time too. Like he just has a permanent smirk when when Fisk is like addressing his like cabinet or whatever, and then they go out on their orders, and he's just always like, oh yeah, we're gonna go punish some people.
Yeah.
I'm ready for him to die.
Yeah.
Man, it's funny that just talking about John Bernthal, I just randomly on a rotation, I started watching How I Met Your Mother again. Haven't watched it in a long time. He appears in like the second episode of that show, and he
Does
is
he?
like a completely no-name, like just boyfriend hookup guy. It's so funny. Like literally watched that like 2 days ago.
Oh my
where he's like
God.
way younger also. Yeah, and then
I'll bring it up. I'll bring a
Screenshot.
photo up.
and then to watch this here where he's like clean cut Frank Castle, just kicking ass, and yeah, he's come a long way with his career. That guy.
It's true. He's on top of the world.
Shit, look at this
Yeah.
right here. That's the
Carlos,
like,
Punisher.
that's right.
Looks like Connor.
He does, yeah. That's the Punisher right there before he goes to war. You know, he's just
Maybe that's the pendant that he's got. Maybe it's actually the Punisher logo.
yeah. How I Met the Punisher. Yeah. Jesus Christ. That's what they call the special too. Just yeah. So we talked about them quickly. They did another tie back. I guess we'll talk about this so we can bring up Kirkland's favorite boy here.
Oh.
We got a flashback with Bullseye with Vanessa talking to him, giving him a release because they said that Fisk got acquitted because the FBI was corrupt. And as I put in the Discord, and yeah, but like Fisk is the one that corrupted him. So I feel like that should be going to prison. But I guess their idea kind of was saying that like, cause there was so many bad FBI agents and whatnot, they didn't know what would stick or whatnot. So Fisk got acquitted. So if anyone was wondering, because he got arrested in season 3 and him and Vanessa got split up, I guess he did go to trial and just got acquitted and he was fine, off and dandy. Thought it was a weak reason. I agree with Mike. I'm glad they gave one, but it was very much like, oh, okay. Like when you watch season 3, you just know like, oh, okay, a couple months later, or I guess maybe a year, maybe, but still it's just like, they're like, no, yeah, he's fine. He's not guilty. Let him go. And guess what? That happens in real life, of course. It's just in a TV show. It's like a little anticlimactic. But I just remember for years people being like, was it the blip? Was it this? Was it that? It's just like, nah, it was regular. Like they couldn't get it together and stuff. But she's talking to Bullseye, and this is what's very interesting, right? Because they put Bullseye in this scene. And we even talked about like him and Vanessa didn't leave in a good place. Like he was trying to kill Vanessa the last time they saw each other, right? Yeah, specifically because Agent Nadim was corrupt. But like he was corrupt because they killed a guy in front of Nadim and said like, you got to do this or we'll kill your fucking family. Like that does not sound like Nadim, you know. I get it. He was corrupt, but like it's corrupt because Fisk made him do these things. I digress. She's talking to Bullseye saying, oh, well, it's no fair. You shouldn't get a second chance. You know, it wasn't right what happened to you. And, you know, your problem was with my husband. I haven't seen my husband in months, whatever. If you sign this, you get a second lease on life. But I also need you to kill Foggy Nelson. And could you do that for me? What I'm intrigued in, but I'm not going to say worried, but don't know if I want, this flashback, they made him it was very much someone taking advantage of a mentally ill person. He is shaken up. He's not good. She's not even letting them give him his fucking pills unless he signs this paper. So it's like, what choice does he have but to sign this paper? And then at the end of this episode, I think he was back at like where like Avocados at Law. Like it looked like where Matt and Foggy used to be, like their building. I think they're gonna make Bullseye a fucking good guy, or he's gonna be on our side next season. I really do, because when they had that shot of the glass and then he just like hung his head down, it wasn't like, oh yeah, Bullseye's coming. It looks like he's hurting. Now again, how much can you cheer for a guy that killed Foggy Nelson? Again, maybe that's why Foggy's not actually dead, and that could be the full thing that redeems Bullseye, right? Of like, even though he did kill like 12 people in that bar, but I think it's going to be a situation where they have to work with Bullseye, and they're highlighting him as I won't say sympathetic character, but a character that's been taken advantage of. So, Kirkland, how do you feel about? I think
now our good guys are going to take advantage of him. Just
no,
like
I think Bullseye will come to them and be like, "I'll help you kill Fisk. I'll kill Fisk. I'll kill Vanessa. I'll do them all." Because I think it's going to be like the enemy is my friend. So, Kirkland,
Right,
how do you feel about
groveling.
Bullseye? I'm telling you, he's joining Team Daredevil next season. They're going to be a team. They might still decide to fight at the end of it and say, "Hey, once this is over, I'm coming for you." But I think he's getting a minor Kylo Ren-esque redemption arc here. So.
Yeah, I mean, if it's gonna happen and I can't stop it, I'm just hoping the writing is good around that character, and I think a complicated dynamic, like he wants to basically help the force of Matt Murdock. We were already kind of picking apart Matt's
he needs
army,
Bullseye.
so yeah, he needs some troops.
I got Cherry. You need Poindexter, man. We can't. Cherry can't throw pencils at people.
Yeah, Cherry hasn't shot a gun in a while. They need the guy that shoots his teeth with the rattling gun.
Oh yeah, he's got tons of weapons.
Yeah, so I feel like also, to push back on myself, I feel like the way that they've handled Bullseye in this specific show, like I've actually liked it a lot more than the last
And the
season.
actor's great too. He
Yeah,
delivers
fantastic.
every time.
He was really good for sure. I did like seeing that sequence of the flashback when he's just super vulnerable. Just a terrible like nurse or like medicine official that like just hands out the medicine, just like walks away. It's not like, ma'am, like you can't just take his pills away from him. Like he kind of has to take those, but whatever. I'm hyper analyzing that sequence, but no, I'm intrigued by this wild factor, especially just with how the season ended. It seems like the whole city is kind of under Kingpin's thumb right now, so to have just a lot more wild cards out there. Frank, he got out pretty easily. Bullseye's out there. Like there is people that really want Fist dead out there, and I'm excited to see that dynamic.
And imagine if Frank meets back up with them and he sees that Matt Murdock is working with Bullseye, and then that whole thing about like Frank being like, "Why didn't you kill that guy? Why didn't you like? Oh, he got life. Like, what about Foggy's life? Like." I would, because I guess I'm also just, I want the agenda of I want Punisher versus Bullseye. Like, I want to fight. I want that YouTube clip. I want that to happen. But I just feel like Frank would be so disgusted. And even Karen. Imagine Karen having to, like, and there's so many times, even in the Punisher show, right? Like, or sorry, in Daredevil, Karen would side with Punisher over Matt. And Matt would just be, like, disgusted by it. But I could see that situation where Karen hates that we're working with Bullseye. And Frank comes back. He's like, what the fuck? Like, you're working with this guy? Like, there's lots of good dynamics there. And, oh, man. That's some juice.
It would be pretty intense if we got kind of like let's say this is like an episode 1 thing of season 2, like flipping it, comparing it to this season of like everyone's in Josie's bar, we're making the plan, how are we going to take this down? And like Bullseye walks in the door.
Oh, yeah.
Just like he did at the start of this season, but like in a very different context. And this time, like trying to make a deal. To me, that would be like, I don't know if that'd be like a jumping the shark moment, but I just feel like that would be a huge stretch of logic for a lot of our characters. I feel like maybe a more like realistic situation is we're like at the, what's it called, the Red Hook, right? We're like there, or at one of these places with a bunch of the corrupt cops and whatnot, and like Daredevil's there, maybe he's there with Punisher, and they're taking out some bad guys, and then like Bullseye also shows up, and then they kind of realize, okay, we're after the same guys here, and they like work together like in that scene. But
yeah,
I don't see it ever getting to the point where like Bullseye's like hanging out at Josie's, drinking like a whiskey sour, and like, okay, guys, what's the plan? What are we gonna do next? Like, you guys want to go, hit up another bar after this? Like, go get some drinks, whatever. Like, I don't see it like getting to that kind of scenario.
No, I agree with your scenario where I still think they would have maybe for like if it's that episode where Karen finds out about this and is a little disgusted with Matt that he had to even like for a second work with them, but she'll eventually understand. But I think it's like that, where it's just there's a situation, or they show up at the same time, or there's some MacGuffin that Bullseye has, whether it's information or a person that they have to get from Bullseye. So yeah, I think it'll be like that. I don't think he's ever gonna get a tab at Josie's and go back to a normal. This man can't go back to a normal life. It's over for him, you know. But I love, because I just we talked about this last week. To me, he just represents chaos. So I just love now, even next year, I think we're just gonna be okay. We know Bullseye's gonna be there. What's he gonna do? Like at any moment, he could turn on Matt in the middle of that battle when they're working together. You know, he decide, you know what? Actually, I do want to kill Daredevil, and then he's gonna throw whatever he has in his hands or his feet or his mouth, whatever it could be.
Teeth,
so yeah, teeth,
teeth
tongue,
machine
maybe
gun.
yeah, maybe he's gonna have new teeth and just shoot those out. They'll be like grills, or he can have them like filed.
Okay.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But I can't wait. More Bullseye, the better. I
Yeah.
can't wait. I'm happy. Like season 2 could be really great if we get Punisher back for that with the special. We got Bullseye, maybe some other heroes. Karen's back. We got Fistful in like bad guy mode. Like season 2 has like the potential. They got tons of things set up that are like all I'm interested in. So.
This meme just won't
Agreed.
die. I'm gonna have to live with it
No,
forever now.
Hello Kirkland, nice to see you again. Yeah, you're gonna see him again next year. Can't wait. And I think I have seen some set photos that look like they're actually giving him the bullseye on his mask now. Finally,
On his
so.
skin or the mask?
Just
So
the
they're going-
mask.
okay.
They're not going that far, so that's
Bullseye.
that's nice. Yeah. So
I'll take that trade.
yeah. Anything else we haven't touched upon,
Negative.
Mr. Pats?
Nope.
Mr. Muss, what would you give this season? from a
Oh,
rating?
that's really tricky. Such a mixed bag. We had some low episodes. We had some filler episodes. We had some great episodes. We had some decent episodes that had some great moments. So we really ran the gamut. I think I'm just going to drop a clean 7.5 on this bad boy. Maybe 7.3. I want to go higher than a 7, but 5 feels a little high. I'm going to go 7.3. Looking forward to the next season. I think we definitely, if this truly was a setup season all along, I think we're due for like a really spicy one next season. So
Yeah.
hopefully we get that. Either way, I was just really happy to have Daredevil back, and yeah, it wasn't perfect, but I still had a good time with this for the most part. Only like a little bit of down points in the middle there, but like started pretty well, ended pretty well. So yeah, I'm happy. I'm satisfied, I'll say.
Yeah, I feel like, not that we're excusing show, because I feel like that I'm pretty much the exact same as you, Dylan. Because at first I was like, 7.5. I'm like, oh, that seems too high, but then 7 seems too low. So like, I think I'm with you, like 7.3 or 7.25, somewhere in there. Let me like kind of sit on it for a bit, which is like a downgrade, because the other shows to me were all like 9 and above. So that's like a couple points off. And even then, like, I feel like I think I have like a couple of seasons out of 10. So I love that old show, but next year there's no like, Frankenstein season, all the different creators. Like, to me, there's no more like, it's starting slow. It's like, I'll give you this. It again also came at a time where there's tons of changeover. Disney, the strikes, they were changing leadership, swapping one Bob with another. They changed all their kind of modules again of how they're doing TV and movies. So it's like, okay, a lot of stuff went down, but next year, no excuse. I'm not saying every episode has to be 10 out of 10. Next season has to be 10 out of 10. No. Just the way we talk about how there's some stuff that was not consistent, whether it was even in the episodes that were the former team or this team or all together. Just, I hope that there is a clear path next year. But I think another thing that just makes this show so strong is the performances. We talk about it every week, but, even though we only got Karen for a little bit, but like Matt, Kingpin, Vanessa, Frank, like those performances, even the guy who did who played White Tiger, he was fantastic. Like, even times where it's like the material's a little lacking, these actors do raise it up. But yeah, some episodes that were kind of, I didn't love the bank episode. I didn't love episode 3, like Kirkland. I had those like very low down. Lots of, stuff that I wish fights were better. Some very iffy CGI and kind of, just not volume stuff, but volume S stuff. So yeah, definitely some jots down for writing, and then also just on a technical side. So I'll say 7.25. So just a little under Mr. Bussa 0.05. So Kirkland.
Yeah, I'm right in that ballpark with you guys.
Yep.
I think I'll go 7.43.
Oh,
Yeah, just 7.4.
all the variations.
A little bit under 7.5. I feel like
What's
as
that
I
average?
mentioned
Some give it
earlier
an
on,
average.
like there's only really I think really just 4 episodes out of this whole season of 9 episodes that I'm like, yeah, those are bangers, which that's under 50%, but I think they were true bangers in my eyes and like really lifted it up as a whole. And as I'd already said, the ones that I don't mention in those four, there's like they're still okay. Like the performances are still really good. It's just where they fit in the overall story, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of. So yeah, I think this reborn, Daredevil Born Again season, it could have been way worse. It could have been like, oh man, they really, really did not do it. They probably should have just let this one die. I'm glad we're not having those topics of conversation right now.
What's that
So-
original season like then? Before they did the like when we don't have episodes 8 and
Oh,
9,
I see. Yeah, right. Could have
It was
been.
a 4.7 out of 10. I think.
Yeah, like I would love to see at that point when they sat down and they did go like, we gotta fix this and reshoot some stuff. Like I wonder what it was looking like near the end, especially because remember that was when they were doing the 18 episodes as well, like for
a lot of
one
Muse.
Oh my god. Yeah.
season.
Maybe stretch out that bank scene.
This is a
That'd be
3-part
good.
arc,
Episodes.
the bank
Yeah.
scene.
The trilogy.
Yeah. So next time, I'm sure on next Geek First podcast, when we do what we've been watching, we'll get Taylor's final thoughts or something like that. But yeah, thank you everyone that tuned in. Thank you everyone in the Discord. It's been a fun time. But luckily, it'll be back next year for Daredevil and then this Punisher special. We got lots of stuff, more meat on the bone to happen, and this was a good time, especially for you, me, Dylan. This was completely new. We've been doing this binge in the past, and now
Yeah.
we did this weekly, so it was something different. But
And you know what? Like after having Black Mirror this weekend, I don't like binging anymore. I can't do it anymore. So I like weekly. I'm happy with that.
yeah, well, if you like weekly, we're always here weekly, bi-daily, and we'll be here next year for Daredevil Born Again Season 2, and it will not be boring.